Welcome to the Walthers Showroom Update. I'm Zach, and this is going to be an awesome episode. Not only do I have the all-new WalthersMainline GEVO units, the first run of a tool, to show you today, but I scored an extra special preview of the second series of road names that were announced the January Walthers Flyer. I've got samples here today. Without further ado, let's get on over the track. Unless you visit a Walthers booth at the 2017 National Train Show or Train Fest, this is your first chance to see the all-new WalthersMainline GE Evolution Series locomotive. Of course, the prototype is the most widely used diesel in North America today. It's serviced since 2003. This all-new tool handles 18-inch radius curves and it operates on the WalthersProto drive system, which is an incredible puller. I'll demonstrate the unit's pulling power a little bit later. The first production run is available with SoundTraxx sound and DCC, and the second is offered with ESU sound and DCC. And of course, both production runs are available with the standard DC versions as well. Using this cool-looking CSX unit, I'll show the model up close. All units feature operating front ditch lights, and each road is equipped with road-specific features for 3 key spotting features. On the nose, starting off, we've got the headlight configuration, either located on the nose as shown here on the CSX unit, or on the cab as you'll see on the NS unit. Above that, you'll see the cab and the number boards and the sunshades. Just behind the cab, we have the dynamic brake with the second key spotting feature. Units are either configured with a 6 dynamic brake fan vent, as shown here, or 4 fan vents, as you'll see on several other units. Along the body, you can see the battery boxes, the fuel tank. On the roof, you've got a 5-chime air horn. And toward the back, you have an air-to-air fan, rooftop walkway, surface details, and radiator grills. It's a very nice looking unit. All right, so here's the reverse side of that unit on the rails so that you can see the opposite side of the locomotive. In particular, showing the fuel tank, the fuel fill, the emergency cutoff button, the sight glass. There's an inset main air reservoir and an air dryer. And then while we're looking at this view, I'll point out the third key spotting feature specific to the road. One of 3 different types of trucks. There's either the C4 A1A truck, the standard high adhesion truck, and as shown here on the CSX unit, the steerable high adhesion trucks. One other note, in the January Flyer, we also announced a new detail kit for the GEVOs, which includes 25 formed wire and plastic parts for those of you that wish to detail this out further. Okay, so you've already seen the CSX unit, the blue and yellow boxcar logo paint scheme. Here are the other 5 paint schemes coming out in the first run. We've got the BNSF and the orange and black scheme with the wedge logo. And this unit features a low headlight, 4 vents for the dynamic brakes, and a C4 A1A truck. And we've got the Canadian National in black and red. And this unit features a low headlight, 4 vents for the dynamic brakes, and a standard high adhesion truck. Next up, we've got Canadian Pacific in the red with white lettering scheme. This unit is equipped with a low headlight, 4 vents for the dynamic brakes, and a standard high adhesion truck. Norfolk Southern in the black and white soaring logo. It's equipped with a high headlight, 6 vents for dynamic brakes, and standard high adhesion trucks. And finally, UP with the gorgeous Building America shield and flag scheme. This unit features a low headlight, 4 vents for the dynamic brakes, and a standard high adhesion truck. Just announced a few weeks ago through the January 2018 Walthers Flyer, this second batch I'm about to show you has some really good looking units. Quick disclaimer though, these samples are pre-production and there's a few tweaks that we're going to be making to these before they're approved for production. All of the units in the second run feature a low headlight, but I'll still point out the dynamic brake vent differences and which of the 3 trucks they're equipped with. The BNSF unit is largely the same as the first production run with the new numbers, so I'm going to jump right into the Canadian Pacific, which features this very cool red and white ex-Vancouver 2010 scheme. The unit features standard high adhesion trucks and 4 vents for the dynamic brakes. Next up, we've got City Rail in gray, blue, and yellow. It's equipped with the standard high adhesion trucks and 6 vents for the dynamic brakes. And finally, we've got Iowa Interstate in the fantastic black, yellow, and red scheme. It features steerable high adhesion trucks, although they're not shown in this pre-production sample, and 6 vents for the dynamic brakes. Following the Iowa Interstate is the Kansas City Southern in their trademark red, black, and yellow paint scheme. It's equipped with a standard high adhesion truck and 6 vents for the dynamic brakes. Finally, a new version of the Union Pacific unit, this time the 2500 series numbers, and the only difference being a 6 vent configuration for the dynamic brakes as opposed to 4 vents for the 7000 series units from the first run. we are very excited to be delivering this first run of the WalthersMainline GEVO units, and I think it's really easy to see why. It's a fantastic model at an affordable price, and it's an absolute workhorse puller in your operating sessions. Here at Walthers, it's actually almost all the way sold out in the first run, so I would absolutely post-haste express to you that you should check with your local hobby shop for availability and just hope that they have some. And right now, that second series that was announced in the January flyer, so we're actually taking pre-orders on that right now. I would not delay. It's expected that these will sell out as well. So that's our show for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Come back in 2 more weeks, and with any luck, I'll have some WalthersProto C&O George Washington train models to show you, to share with you before they hit the shelves. Come back.